Well, the state of Maryland just dropped $1 million to buy a landing spot for the now defunct White's Ferry, but there's nowhere for the ferry to go. So what did this $1 million get the people of Maryland? Well, our Tom Rousey was at the big to-do the state through announcing its purchase. So Tom, if there's nowhere on the Virginia side for this ferry to go, what is the point of this purchase?
Well, Megan, it's not guaranteed, but the hope is the ferry will eventually have somewhere to go, and it'll be the same place it used to go on the Virginia side. Now, as part of this deal Montgomery County reached, they're going to become the owner of this property I'm standing on. They'll be the landlord for a restaurant back there. One of the big things they're getting, though, is the old ferry boat. Now, for many, many years, that boat went back and forth across the Potomac River there to the landing you see on the Virginia side, but it abruptly stopped a number of years ago, has not restarted, but Montgomery County officials really hope to change that. Here's video we put together. Now, the county says it's going to pay $1.5 million in tax money for the property on the Maryland side. They hope to one day be able to restart ferry service that closed at the end of 2020 very abruptly. Now, the reason it closed had to do with a court case won by the owner of the landing on the Virginia side, which is Rockland Farm. Since that time, both the White's Ferry owner, who is selling the land to Montgomery County, and Montgomery County have not been able to reach a deal with the Virginia side to reopen. Now, I pressed county officials today. I asked them, does this really change anything? If no agreement has been reached over the last 5.5 years, why do they think that will be different now? Well, they say they hope that this will help spur a deal with Loudoun County and eventually lead to the service restarting.
It does change the dynamic that this is not a private dispute between private parties. Once the county acquires the ferry, it's now a public service and a public operation and would be a public service in Virginia.
Now, a spokesperson for Loudoun County says they are interested in potentially buying the landing that you see in the distance there, but only if they can get it for a, quote, commercially reasonable price. By the way, Montgomery County, I mentioned, is going to own the boat. Well, they got to check the boat and see if it needs repairs. If it does, they're not sure how much those repairs could potentially cost. Back to you in the studio.
Tom, thank you. For sure, a lot of parties involved in this. What does the landowner on the Virginia side say?
Well, Megan, we tried to reach her today. Her name is Libby Devlin. We've interviewed her in the past. We were unsuccessful reaching her today. However, she told our news partners, WTOP, she was not made aware that Montgomery County had reached a deal to buy this property, and she was not invited to today's press conference, she said. Reporting live at White's Ferry, I'm Tom Rousey, 7 News.
All right, Tom, thank you. And 7 News on your side has been closely following the land use dispute for years. You can scan the QR code up on your screen now to see all of our coverage of White's Ferry up right now on WJLA.com. We'll keep you updated if and when ferry service could set sail again.